Lecture number 5. Administrative level of information security. Административный уровень защиты информации. Basic concepts. The administrative level of information security refers to the general actions taken by the management of the organization. The main goal of administrative level is to formulate and implement an information security work program by allocating the necessary resources and monitoring the state of affairs. Security policy. Так. Айымжанды қоса салайын, бір минут күте тұрыңыздар. Security policy. The core of the program is a security policy that reflects the organization's approach to protecting its information assets. The management of each organization must realize the need to maintain a security regime and allocate significant resources for this purpose. The security policy is based on an analysis of risks that are recognized as real for the organization's information system. When the risks are analyzed and the protection strategy is defined, an information security program is drawn up. For this program, resources are allocated, responsible persons are appointed, the order of control of program execution is determined, and etc. And also, a security policy is understood as a set of documented decisions taken by the management of an organization and aimed at protecting information and the associated resources. То есть под политикой безопасности понимается совокупность документированных решений, принимаемых руководством организации и направленных на защиту информации и ассоциированных с ней ресурсы. Так. Three levels of granularity of security policy. То есть 3 уровня детализации политики безопасности. The first level is upper level, верхний уровень. The upper level includes decisions that affect the organization as a whole. They are very general in nature and as a rule come from the leadership of the organization. Decisions to form or revise a comprehensive information security program, appointment of those responsible for promoting the program, the formulation of the goals that the organization pursues in the field of information security, the definition of general directions in achieving these goals, providing a framework for compliance with laws and regulations, formulation of administrative decisions on those issues of implementation of the security program that should be considered at the level of organization as a whole. The next level is security policy mid-range. Политика безопасности среднего уровня. The mid-level policy should cover the following topics for each aspect. Description of the aspect. For example, if we consider the use of unofficial software by users, the latter can be defined as software that has not been approved and or purchased at the organizational level. Application area. It is necessary to determine where, when, how, in relation to whom, and what a given security policy applies to. For example, does the policy related to the use of unofficial software apply to subcontract organizations? Does it affect employees who use laptop or and home computers and are forced to transfer information to production machines? Also, security policy mid-range roles and responsibilities. The political documents should include information on the official responsible for the implementation of the security policy. Law-abiding. The policy should contain a general description of prohibited actions and penalties for them. Points of contact. It should be known where to go for clarification, help, and additional information. Usually a specific official service as a point of contact and not a specific person currently holding this post. The security policy of the lower level. The lower level security policy applies to specific information services. It includes two aspects, goals and the rules for achieving them. So it's sometimes difficult to separate it from implementation issues. Unlike the top two levels, the policy in question needs to be defined in more detail. Top-level security program. Теперь программы. То есть программа безопасности верхнего уровня. The top-level program is led by the person in charge of their organization's information security. This program has the following main goals: risk management, risk assessment, selection of effective means of protection, strategic planning, and the control of activities in the fields of information security. The next program is lower level program, программа нижнего уровня. The goal of a low-level program is to provide a reliable and soft effective protection for a specific service or group of homogeneous services. At this level, it is decided which protection mechanism should be used, technical means are purchased and installed, day-to-day administration is performed, the state of weak points is monitored, and etc. Service administrators are usually responsible for the lower level program. Synchronization of the safety program with the life cycle of system. In the life cycle of information services, the following stages can be distinguished: initiation, purchase, installation, exploitation, and decomposition. Initiation. At this stage, the need to purchase a new service is identified. Its intended purpose is documented. Purchase. At this stage, specifications are drawn up, purchase options are being worked out, and the actual purchase is being carried out. Installation. The service is installed, configured, tested, and commissioned. Explanations. At this stage, and the service not only works and is administrated, but also undergoes modifications. Decommissioning. there is a transition to a new service. То есть синхронизация программы безопасности с жизненным циклом системы. Then management of risks. Управление рисками. The use of information systems is associated with a certain set of risks. When the potential damage is unacceptable, it's necessary to take economically viable protective measures. Periodic risk assessment is necessary to monitor the effectiveness of security activities and to take into account changes in the environment. Risk management base concept. Risk management is considered at the administrative level of information security, since only the management of the organization is able to allocate the necessary resources, initiate and control the implementation of the relevant programs. From a quantitative point of view, the level of risk is a function of the probability of a certain threat using some vulnerabilities as well as the amount of possible damage. Next is in relation to the identified risks, the following actions are possible. Elimination of the risk, for example, by eliminating the cause, or risk reduction, for example, through the use of additional protective equipment, risk acceptance, for example, development of an action plan in appropriate conditions, redirecting risk, for example, by entering into an insurance agreement. Risk management process. Risk management process, the choice of the analyzed objects and the level of detail of their consideration. Choice of a risk assessment methodology, identification of assets, analysis of threats and their consequences, identification of vulnerabilities in protection, risk assessment, selection of protective measures, implementation and verification of the selected measures, and the residual risk assessment. То есть выбор анализируемых объектов и уровни детализации их рассмотрения, выбор методологии оценки рисков, идентификация активов, анализ угроз и их последствий, выявление мест в защите, оценка риск, выбор защитных мер, реализация и проверка выбранных мер и оценка остаточного риска. So in the conclusion, selecting protection objects. Выбор объектов защиты. The choice of the analyzed objects and the level of detail for the consideration is the first step in risk assessment. For a small organization, it's permissible to consider the entire information infrastructure. However, if the organization is larger, a comprehensive assessment can be an acceptable time and effort. In this case, you should focus on the most important services, agreeing in advance with the approximation of the final estimates. If there are still many important services, those of them are selected for which the risks are known to be high or